Hi, this is Brooke Booth from brookeboothcoaching.com, where I help Mormons in mixed faith marriage. I'm going to do a three-part video series here for this page to tell you about the marriage transition that often comes from a faith transition, or maybe the marriage crisis that comes from the faith crisis, however you want to call it, how I navigated that, how I navigated this unplanned mixed faith marriage and created something even better in my marriage, and then how you can too. Those are the three videos. They're going to be short, they're going to be sweet, and they're going to help you. All right. So my faith transition was a slow burn. It came to a point in 2017, 2018, right around there, and it was a real intense time for me. The most challenging aspect was not issues of faith, it was the impact it had on my marriage. Before my faith transition, I would probably say our marriage was fine. Like, that's my opinion of it. It was fine. We'd been married for around 15 years. We had 4 kids, a nice life. Church was entirely the focus of our lives. We spent all of our time and energy serving in the ward, teaching the kids the gospel. And so then comes the faith transition, which, like I said earlier, created this marriage transition. It was hard. It was very challenging. If I use the term crisis, that's where the crisis really happened. I recall the first time I was really frank with my husband about my faith transition. Well, first off, I was scared to bits about even telling him. I was so sure it was just going to blow up the whole marriage. But I decided that the cost of not telling him was greater than the cost of telling him. So I built up the courage to do it. So one reason I was so scared, we'll come back to this story, but one reason I was so scared is because of the doctrine and messaging of the LDS Church, right? Because how we talk about marriage is intertwined with faith, absolutely intertwined. I like to think of it as, when we got married, my husband and I, we went to the store and we picked the LDS marriage off the shelf and put it in our cart and came home. And that's what we used. It was curated. It was all ready for us. It was, open and use. It was a curated marriage full of family home evening and temple attendance and children and church service and the proclamation and all of that. And it was carefully told us what our roles and expectation were. And now years later, well into our marriage, we find, due to my faith transition, that I want to return the package and get something else. That's scary. That's upsetting. That's frustrating for many people. All of a sudden, our marriage felt vulnerable. It feels like we didn't have the foundation we once had. And mainly because it didn't. The foundation we had was no longer working for us. Again, all very scary. So a lot of times when I came to this point, when my clients come to this point, you really start asking some serious questions about your marriage. Why did I marry them? Is our relationship based on anything other than the church? Do I still want to be married? Do I want to be married to them? Do they want to be married to me? Can we be happy together without the church binding us together? More scary questions. And then on top of that, had all the feelings, lots of feelings in a mixed faith marriage due to a faith transition. Betrayal, anger, unsupported, unvalidated, unheard, stupid, foolish. We could go on. Lots of feelings. And then add on top of that, often then there's a layer of judgment or fear of judgment. What will they think if? What will they think if they knew this about me? And then answer that question. They'll think I'm dumb or blindly obedient or being led astray. Answer the question. So now you're scared. On top of that, feelings of betrayal or unsupported. And then on top of that, lots of judgments. It's a lot to deal with. So many come to me in pain, in real pain, in deep pain because of this. And they tell me that it's not safe to share things with their spouse. They tell me they don't know how this marriage can make it. They tell me that they don't feel respected. And I know it well. After I told my husband about my own faith transition, he didn't say anything that day, or that week, or that month. It took a few months. It was excruciating for me. I was walking on eggshells the whole time. I was heartbroken. I felt sad and alone and isolated. I know he did too. We both felt betrayed. We both felt unsupported. And that's where we were. But we're not there anymore. There was a path forward for us. At first, it wasn't clear at all. I fumbled a lot. I got it wrong a lot. I failed a lot, but I kept trying. I remember one particular conversation. We knew, both of us, we knew we had an uphill battle in front of us. And I like looked at my husband, I like really looked him in the eyes. And I decided I was willing to figure this out. I was willing to stay and be committed and really be committed to the marriage. I honestly think up until that point, I wasn't. It was just, there was nothing to pull me away before that. And so this was a different, it's like something clicked for me. Before that, maybe there was no pushback to really test my commitment to that point, but now there was real pressure. And I decided I was going all in. So in the next video, I'm going to tell you about some of the solutions I found. I'm going to tell you about how I was able to heal my marriage and really make it different than it was even before the faith transition. When I say different, I mean better. But really to heal it and to create what I would say a new foundation for our marriage, a new package for our marriage. And then the third video, let's teach you how you can do that too, and some of the obstacles in your way of doing that for you. All right, wishing you the best.